What we're going to do now is create a new document in Photoshop and see what are the properties of the new document. And the properties of a new document will also apply to any image that I open. So to open a new file, I would go to File, New, but I like to use the shortcut Control N, which is much faster than going to File, New. It's all about becoming a fast artist in Photoshop. So Control N. And the first thing that I need to specify is the file name. So I'll type, for example, my first image, or whatever you like. Now here I have some preset sizes. So if you remember, the size of the desktop was 1024 times 768 in pixels, which are dots on the computer screen. So here I have some presets, and one of them is actually 1024 times 768. Another preset is 800 by 600. And I also have 640 times 480. Now why do I have these presets? Because these are the same as what I can have here. So if I drag this down, it is 800 by 600. So these are common to my computer display. Another preset, set of presets that is the print preset. So if I go down here, I have A4 and A3 and so forth. Who knows what is the size in centimeters of an A4 paper? Okay, if you forgot, you click on A4, for example, and you see that it's 21 centimeters by 29.7 centimeters. So here I have millimeters. But if I choose centimeters, I would get 21 by 29.7. So you don't have to really remember these because they are there for you as presets. What is a preset? It's something that's prepared earlier for you to use. Now, of course, if I choose, let's say A4 or A3 and press OK, this is 16.7% of the real size. So it's approximately 6.5 times smaller than the actual size. You see, 100% is the actual size. If I divide 100 by 16.7, I'm probably going to get 6.5. Let's try it. $100 over 16.7. Actually, no, it's 5.9, so it's close. It's around 6. So it's 6 times smaller than the actual size. So when we're practicing in Photoshop, we're not going to choose A4. We're going to choose something like 640 times 480 or 800 by 600. Why? Because we want to see the whole 100% of the image. But when I ask you to work on a project, or in the future when a client asks you to work on a project, he's going to give you the size of the document, and then you have to actually enter that size. So let's say that the client asks you to create a poster that's 2 meters in width, 2 meters, and 1 meter in height. So it's a landscape poster. So what do you do then? You choose centimeter and centimeter. For the width, we need 2 meters. Therefore, how many centimeters? 200. And 1 meter, so it's 100 in height. There is another thing that you have to deal with, which is the resolution. I'll talk about it a bit later. And if I press OK, that's my size, but it's a zoomed out version of the size because it's 8.3%. You understand? Because Photoshop will zoom out to fit this image on screen. But if I print it, it's going to be 2 meters by 1 meter. Sorry? Yeah. When you print, it will print with the size that you specified it. Alright? But here, because you want to see the whole thing, you want to work on the whole image. Sorry for this. When you work on the whole image, you're going to get it zoomed out so that you see everything. Now let's see how this relates to an image that I have on my hard disk. If you open and we get, let's say, this image here, I want to place this image over there to have, let's say, a composition of images. It's very simple in Photoshop. You go to your Move tool, which is here. Move tool. It's used to move things around. And you drag this image over to that one. Now, although this looks very big here, but with respect to the size of this bigger image, it's small. But if I zoom over, I would see the image in its actual scale. So this is the 100%. And you see that whenever I zoomed in, I did not lose quality because it's at 100% still. When I zoom more, then it starts to degrade. But you always print at 100%. So what you see at 100%, that's what's going to print. So you're not losing anything. To go to 100%, you can double click on the zoom tool. It takes you to 100%, or you can choose actual pixels. If you choose fit on screen like we saw last time, we're going to see it like this. So that's one image. I want to bring other images, and then I'll ask you to do the same on your machines. Now, where do I find images on these computers? On your home computer, you can get images from wherever you like. On these computers, in the Photoshop folder, there is a samples folder that we can use. So I'll double click. In your case, you go to Program Files, and then Adobe. Yeah, let's go to Program Files in my case too. Yeah, Adobe. I must have installed it somewhere else. And it should be... Alright, let's see how we can figure out where something is installed. If I go to my Start and then go to Search, what I'm looking for is Photoshop.exe. So I'll choose all files and folders, and I'll type Photoshop without an E .exe, which is the extension of the executable, or just Photoshop. So you choose Search. Another way is to actually right click, and there it is. It's much better than the search. Yeah. Okay, I'll repeat it. You go to Start, Programs. There's the shortcut. I want to see where it's installed. Actually, you do get a highlight, but if you right click and choose Properties, that's the location. So in my case, it's CK5 Adobe. So anyway, in your case, you go to Program Files because that's where it's installed, and then Adobe, and then Photoshop, and then Samples. And here you get samples that we can use in our exercise now. So let's say that we want to open a few of them. Dune, and Peppers, and Ranch House, and Old Image, and Pasta. So I pressed Control to add these to my selection. To open them in Photoshop, on one of them I drag down, and then inside the interface I release, and you see that all of them will open. So once they are open, we're going to use the Move tool and drag them over one by one, and then we can close the image. Like this. And then with the Move tool, we can move them around. But I'll talk about this after you do it.